believe it. Oh, but we put a gun on people's heads to believe it. We are making a compelling argument. That's why people believe it. It's compelling. If it is compelling, you can't do anything about it. You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, fair enough, you can raise the point that no. Charge sheets don't work like that. Charge sheets, they don't work like that. They don't write this in charge sheets. They don't write this in that. You can make an argument. But you pour vitriol. And they came to tell me that I was trending on Twitter. My child came and said, Eddie, you are trending on Twitter. I say, yeah, always. I said, what are people saying? He's open their computer quickly. These young people, they are very fast with the computer. She opened the computer quickly. Then she started laughing. I said, why? Then she turned the computer to me that, look at this. You see, because on Wednesdays, I had a boss here. His name is Mr. Haruna. He studied our production one time, and he says that, Paul, I think that for you and your crew, Wednesdays, you shouldn't come to work. So Wednesdays, we don't come to work. And I don't know why. The Awusa Koko Wednesday morning is just too good. So Wednesdays, so when it's on vacation like that, Wednesdays we're out there. So Wednesday morning we're at home, and the Awusa Koko is perfect. You know the tea bread, the cracker type. The one that when you, I think they pump into, so when you squeeze it, then it becomes small. You bite it. That's the one. Add a lot of sugar. Just check your sugar level. Add plenty sugar. Mix it. Charlie, you are there. So Wednesday morning we are all at home. We are relaxing. Unless I have a meeting, my boss calls me here and says that Adam, you need to come to the office. Then I tell them that I beg, I'll come after 2 because Wednesdays we are sleeping. We don't come to work. So Wednesday the calls were coming. And then some cartoon. I'll show you the cartoon. What is the matter? Paul Adumochi has said something about Cecilia Dapa. Okay. If it and say what you want to say. No, yeah, why you don't have brain? You don't. I mean, it is so low. It's so embarrassing. It's so disgraceful. And some people call themselves journalists. I don't call myself a journalist because I didn't go to journalism school. I didn't get the opportunity. I am a news reporter. I've said that all the time. I'm a pure, simple news reporter. The other day I went to the children's school. Sorry. The other day I went to the children's school and I saw somebody, old friend of mine, and he said, they spoke in fancy. He said, Kweku, na baby edui, edahu ye asin north, me who date na asin north na aze. Na baby edui, you are higher than that. I said, oh, no, Yoko. Me, I'm a news reporter. Oh. I'm not a boss. I'm not editor. I don't delight in being boss. I am a ground news reporter. I'm like Christian Amampol. I'm like Richard Quest. We like to go on the ground where the story is. I'm a news reporter, plain and simple. That's why when a story breaks, I go to the CID and I say, give me the docket. I don't follow the crowd. Hey, Yachino, this is the other part. No. News reporters don't do that. That's not how we are trained. Go to the source of the story and get it and look at the source of the story, and half the time you will find that what the popular opinion is not the story. That's why Christiana Mampo is great. She's at the heart of the bullets in Iraq. She's right there, and she's looking at Ude and Uche and Saddam Hussein. She's telling you what's happening. That I go to Asin North, Kumewu, I'm there at the heart of the story, whether I'm old or young, or I'm the boss of Metro TV, it doesn't matter to me. If I'm the board chairman of Metro TV, I will still go down to get the story. And I'll report live the story. That's what I am. I'm a news reporter. So I go to get the story. And it's an intellectual exercise, isn't it? But then people, hey, Jimmy. Why? You can't make an argument after your school fees was paid at SSS, JSS, and Accra Poly, University of Ghana, Cape Coast University. You still cannot develop an argument, and you have to resort to insulting. I am so disappointed. I saw it. I said, oh, are they still doing that? And then as my child brought the thing to me, I saw some 2 people who wrote. I'll show you what they wrote. Very, very scholarly. The second guy, his brofo is brutal. And I didn't know the guy had been watching me that long. Now, this guy has watched me, and I mean, the things he said about me, I didn't even know that it exists about myself. I'll show it to you on the touch screen. And it was going on. And then some people were coming back and quarreling with other people, and some people were just saying other things, and it was all over the place. And I said, no, I need to respond to this. So I looked at I told my people. So when we regrouped after a long break to prepare, somebody brought that photograph, you know. Please put that photograph on the TV. The motorbike, the one we use for the... And he said, boss, Charlie, today you can use this for a flyer. I said, how can we use a flyer? Then I looked at it, I said, that's a good idea. Young people are brilliant. I said, this is a good idea. I said, Kuku, put this for flyer. He said, boss, how? I said, use it. How can't you use it? Use it. Now, this guy on the motorbike, I don't know him. I don't know him, whoever he is. Boss, thank you very much, wherever you are. We are happy that you gave us the ride, and we are happy that we have been able to use it today. So I went to watch Charlotte Festival, and Manche has stopped the Charlotte Festival. I don't know why. Big up to Charlotte Festival, big up to Manche. He had a beautiful event, and I just like to support young people when they are doing these things. So this was about 4 years ago or so. Charlotte Festival was happening in Gamashi. I said, no, I'll go to Charlotte Festival. So I went there with my people. And then we got there. The crowd was big. But I said I was looking for Manchester. They said Manchester is in the thick crowd over there. You can't drive there. So I saw this guy on the motorbike. Put him on again. I said, can I jump behind you? I spoke in Ghana. Charlie, Imba. Again, where? I mean to a Manchester. Where? Then, we went. This is the photograph. And my photographer and I took this picture then. So we're going through our stuff, and somebody said, we can use this for today's edition because of what we are coming to discuss. So, please, I don't know him. If you know him, big him up for me, yeah? He gave me a ride that Saturday afternoon at Charlotte Festival, and that's how we put the flyer up tonight. And then I got the song, Swing Low, Swing High, Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. And we're going to deal with it. We're still dealing with it. So, I don't understand it. You see, viewers, if you understand it, please send me a text. My initial reaction was, should we open phone lines today and ask people what they think? I mean, I don't get it. Okay, let's continue this conversation on the touch screen. Let's see what we got on the touch screen, and then perhaps, who is this? Who is this? Does Cecilia Adapa wear red glasses? Does Cecilia Adapa wear red glasses? But who is this? Who is this guy? Hello? Who is this guy? So they said I was trending. I said, oh, I like to trend. I really, really like to trend. Please, can you give me the Good Evening Ghana vehicle? Let me put that on here. This one is Black Stars vehicle. They are not doing well, so I'll take the Black Stars vehicle out and put the Good Evening Ghana vehicle back there. Thank you very much. Okay. So I said, okay, I'm trending. I like it. I like to trend. I want to be like OSP. I'm going to arrest Cecilia Adapa. I'm going. Camera, TV, come. GTV, come. City TV, come. Joy FM, come. Put the drone. I'm going to arrest Cecilia Adapa. I'm trending. Let's go. We are going. We are trending. We are going to arrest Cecilia Adapa. We are trending. But the real point of the matter is that I don't know what has happened in Ghana. Somebody says something. It is, you are not saying anything about what he said. You say he's a boa. And these guys, they drink a peteshi at 5:30 in the morning. They wear black spectacles. They stand there. Paula with Jimmy. Where's Jimmy that? You can't make an argument. It is so disgraceful. You cannot make an argument. You have to insult. I say I saw charge sheets. This is what was written in the charge sheet. And this is the facts that I'm presenting. And he say he's always defending crime. Then please put the cartoon up. Then they went to put some cartoon B. And the way they put the cloth on me, I couldn't have worn the cloth better. I can never wear cloth like this every time. You remember that photograph I had when in 2016 the president was laughing at me that I couldn't wear the cloth well. So the cloth is very well done. Whoever did it, thank you very much for the cloth. I've never worn a Hinman great like this. Then they put it there. Story according to Paul. Good evening, Ghana. This is why Anansewa kept it. Oh, Charlie. 3 News. Charlie, 3 News. Who is there? My only friend there is Black Rasta. You know, Black Rasta. I don't know whether he's still marking scripts, but Black Rasta is there. Black Rasta. It's at 3 News. So they put this nice looking, you know, I look like an Ochiame or Odikru or something like that. But it's all good. My concern really is that those young people who have gone to JSS, they've gone to SSS, you see something, you can't make an argument, they say Aboa. That's okay. Those who come and sit on Facebook and television, it is because of them, because of those people. Do you know what happened yesterday? A whole President Kufuor, 84-year-old man, he saw an invitation. I asked President Kufuor's people. They said when President Kufuor saw the invitation, he said, this one I have to attend. Church of Pentecost put up an event to discuss the degrading moral standards in Ghana. And what did President Kufuor say? President Kufuor said that what worries him is politicians who put people up to insult people. That's what President Kufuor said, that is worrying for him. Of course, President Mahama said, was trying to take a swipe at Cecilia Dapa and said, people keep money in there, something funny like that, which is okay. But the conference was called, can you put the photograph? The conference was called Morality something, so what is it called? National Development Conference. Oh no, it has a morality in there. Moral vision and national development. There's what is a morality something? So Church of Pentecost put this event together. It's about morality and how we are doing in our country these days, etc., etc. And President Kufuor said that politicians now put people up to insult. And young people, you can tell that they are educated. They cannot make an argument. They just insult people. I don't even get it. You see an argument, you are incapable of making an argument. So you say, Paul Adomochu with Jimmy. Explain, say it. Paul Adomochu said that. Cecilia Dapa said that. The charge sheet is this. Paul Adomochu said that. Cecilia Dapa's husband is probably able to have 300,000 euro based on the work he has done. And it is verifiable. Paul Adomochu said that Cecilia Dapa told the police that the thing belongs to her late brother and it's a family matter. Cecilia Dapa said that the thing is stool regalia, the ornaments is stool regalia, and she was keeping it and she was concerned that she can't go and tell the stool that is missing, so she reported to police. Then you say, the guy who is the most craziest, he says that his problem is that, and Paul Adomochu will come and speak and people will believe it. I don't get it. It's a competition of ideas. So if Paul Adomochu will speak and people will believe it, say yours and convince the people that, yes, I am right. Paul Adomochu is wrong. Many years ago, there was a debate between Wolf Blitzer. Now, Wolf Blitzer is with CNN. So you know where CNN's political leaning is. And Bill O'Reilly. And they were discussing the Fifth Amendment of the American Constitution. So Bill O'Reilly does it on Fox News. Wolf Blitzer does it on CNN. And then they will say, each of them will point out that he's wrong. The Constitution, American accent. The Constitution says this. This one says he's wrong. The Constitution said this. Now, Wolf is very close friends with President Clinton. Okay? And that's allowable. He's a journalist, his friend is President Clinton. When we went to South Africa to watch the World Cup, we saw the two of them jogging together. That time, Clinton was not president, but they've kept their friendship. Wolf Blitzer and President Clinton are very, very good friends. Okay, that's why Wolf Blitzer was struggling to announce the victory of Trump on CNN on the dawn of the 2016 election. Okay, because he's very close to the Clintons. He's a full journalist, but he's Clinton's friend. Now, he went into this argument with Bill O'Reilly about, I think, the Fifth Amendment or the Second Amendment. Bill Clinton was asked by journalists that, have you heard the argument between Wolf and that, and where do you stand? Clinton smiled and he said, I'm a Democrat. and people know what that means. But that's how they do it there. It's a competition of ideas. Wolf Blitzer didn't say, Bill O'Reilly, wait, Jimmy. I don't get it. Somebody makes an argument, you have to raise the standard and make a counter argument. And your response is that, and people are enjoying it, people are happy. With Jimmy on television. That's why President Kufuor told the conference yesterday, because of you people, those of you who are watching me who do that, because of you people, Pentecost Church held a conference, invited President Mahama, President Kufuor, Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia, the vice president, invited all kinds of people to the event. Alban Bagbin, in fact, Alban Bagbin closed Parliament and said, this conference is very important. I will close Parliament and I will attend. That's what Bagbin said. He said this conference is so important because of the moral decadence. The morality is going away. And people call themselves, that's the photograph. This is the event. This President Kufuor seated there, Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia, Speaker Bagbin, Pentecost chairman. This is it. They were talking about morality because of those of you who go on Facebook and those who call themselves journalists. They will drink apeteshi at 5:45 in the morning. Then they wear black spectacles. Apeteshi pan, they've drank it. They are 5:45 in the morning. They wear black spectacles. Then they come. Paul Adomochu with Jimmy. You cannot make an argument. We will not sink so low. We will continue to maintain the standards because the young people must see the standards. And I talk to my children and they are laughing. They say, but why? What's happening? You make an argument. I am not always correct. I'm not a paragon of correctness. I'm not always correct. So I can say something that may be wrong. But You need to make an argument. What is Kwasia? And people are laughing at it. People are happy. They are just excited. As for the cartooning, it's allowed. I'm happy with it. No problem. You can cartoon me anytime you like it. I don't mind. It's fine. It's no problem. So cartooning is good. Cartooning is not an insult. So cartooning is fine. Actually, the guy is very creative. He took my photograph and put a small boy's body there and put a beautiful cloth on it. The guy is creative. I'm happy with this. I think he's called Tilapia. He does this quite a bit, and I like the creativity. When he says Anansewa in reference to Cecilia Dapa, it's creative. It's fine. There's no problem with it. His creativity is expressive. In fact, if I get him, I'll employ him and ask him to do some cartoons for me, because some people will drink apeteshi in the morning. It's 5:45 apeteshi, full one. Then you wear black, but I want him to cartoon that one, apeteshi people, and cartoon Black Rasta. Then he's sitting on he's banging the table. And I watch Black Rasta quite a bit. These days I switch between Dorinando and Black Rasta. Airban something is banging the thing. That's okay. But those who come and say, so come and make an argument that last night I was listening to Paul Adobochi, he didn't make any sense at all. That's okay. Because what he said was wrong. You can do that. But if your only response is that with Jimmy, then maybe the Jimmy must be reversed. Because it just means that you are incapable of thinking. That's what it is. You are incapable of thinking. You can't think. That's why you say with Jimmy. You can't think. That's why you say Oyabua. You can't think. That's why you say Oyakwasia. Because what we produce is a product of thinking and analysis. Let me show you something. I'll show you something very quickly. I got a new book, I got a new book. Very, very interesting book. My wife bought it for me. It's entitled News and How to Use It. This one. So she was walking somewhere and said, oh, this one, Paul will need it. He came, I was lying down and said, get. And I called, I said, wow, where did you get this from? He said, I knew you would like it. It's entitled News and How to Use It. What to Believe in a Fake News World. It's by Alan Rusberger. There it is. News and How to Use It. I bought it. I am going to read it. All the money that your mother paid for school fees, you still cannot make an argument. You are 35, you are 32, you are 28, you are 24. Your response is that with Jimmy. So they sent me this. Thank you very much. Twitter trends. Paul Adomochi, number 1. Kwatima is 2. Bank of Ghana is 3. Cecilia Dapa is 4. Why is Paul Adomochi number 1? Because everybody says a large number of people. So when you say with Jimmy, somebody gets angry and responds. That's what Jimmy is saying. Make an argument. And that's how the Twitter trends are going. Because somebody can, Paul Adomochi Kwasia, and then somebody is angry. Somebody who is well trained is angry that, Oye Kwasia is that what? He says something, you two say your own. What is Oye Kwasia? Are you sick? That's it. Because they cannot make an argument. Now look at this. The report on the proposal for a draft constitution for Ghana. This is the KB Asante report of the 1992 constitution. We always talk about constitutional amendment here. I always talk about that. So I am going to read it. In fact, I've read it. And I'm not the only one reading it. Members of the team are reading it. So that when we finish, what did you find? What did you find? What did you find? Then we put it together and we present a show. We are reading a book because we went to JSS. Our school fees was paid. We don't want to embarrass the people who paid our school fees. So we won't drink a peteshi at 5:45, wear black spectacles and come and stand on TV and say, wait, Jimmy. And then some people will sit on internet, oh, your tree. It just means that they lack brain. I'm sorry. They didn't do anything with their JSS. They didn't do anything with their SSS. But we live in a society where those things are encouraged. It's a democracy. No problem. But it's decadence. That's why Pentecost Church did what they did yesterday. Pentecost Church, look at this thing, and they have a mantra entitled Possessing the Nations. This photograph is from the event. Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia, some people call him the incoming. John Dramani Mahama, some people call him the Abebio. They shook hands over there because the Pentecost Church said, let's bring the leaders together. This moral decadence in our society. And where is the moral decadence? It's on social media. It's on television. For people to drink a peteshi in the morning, 5:45, a peteshi pa. And then wear black spectacles and come and present a show and it's all about insults. I mean, and a television station runs that. A television station runs that kind of thing. Insults. He's not presenting anything. He's not presenting any thesis. He hasn't read any book. JSS has been paid. SSS has been paid. Tertiary has been paid. The man is lucky to have a television platform like we have. We are all lucky to do that because there are some people at home who are more intelligent than us. I always say that. There are some people, if they come and stand here, they will make a lot more sense than me. So I consider this being fortunate. So if I'm fortunate, what do I do with it? I make the most out of it. So I will read a short history of Europe from Pericles to Putin. This is a fantastic book. It traces European history from Pericles up to Vladimir Putin. Please tell them that they should read it. Not Apeteshi alone. Apeteshi is okay if you want it. But not only that, read also. Because you have a responsibility to come on television and to educate people. And when a story breaks, we are distilling the story. We are looking at the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis of the story. Is that not what we're taught in school? The thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis. And then we present it to you. And all you can say in response is that, with Jimmy, or your chin, or your boy. I looked at it, I said, this is so embarrassing. Those who hide behind social media to do that, fair enough. But those who stand on television with their face after their peteshi, and then they come and start, oh yeah, boy. Why? You can't think and make an argument. I want to do something about the 1992 Constitution. I went to look for KB Asante's report. It's in a library. Richard Lai photographed it for me. It's in the Faculty of Law library. He called me and said, sir, I've seen a report at the library. I think you want it. I said, photocopy it for me. And he brought it to me. Here. So I will read it. So when I come and stand here, I'm not going to say anybody is Aboa. I'm not interested in that. And I was trained as a Catholic. Well, why are you calling somebody Aboa? Yeah, he's a Kwasia. The historical Jesus Christ, you remember him, Jesus, our own Jesus. When he died, he went to heaven. And his disciples were working. The historical Jesus looked at the apostles' work. And he wanted the work of the apostles to reach an apogee, where it actually did get to. He recognized that he needed a very solid intellectual to push this agenda. It appeared that among his people, faithful as they were and strong as Peter was, they had a deficit in the intellectualism. So what did he do? He went to get an unbeliever called Apostle Paul, after whom we are all named. He got him at Damascus, grabbed Paul at Damascus and said, come and do my work because I need your brain. Eventually what happened? Apostle Paul ruled the Christendom, completed the New Testament, wrote everything, wrote so much, took the gospel to the Greeks who were worshiping idols. Paul took the gospel to the Greeks. They were worshiping idols. And the gospel then became useful so that today we all benefit from it. Jesus Christ sought after intellect. And that is the most powerful thing that God has given us. Intellect. The difference between me and the dog in my house is my brain. The difference between me and the goats in my house is my brain. The difference between me and the cat in my house is the brain. If I cannot use the brain, I am like the dog. If I cannot use the brain, I am like the goat. So if an argument is made out of brain work, and somebody's response is to bark like dogs bark, whoa, 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 then you are like that. Because as a human being, you raise an argument and say, I disagree with Paul. What is he talking about? It's not true. He can't say that. That's not how charge sheet works. The fact that Sladapa wrote that doesn't mean this. But your response is that, look at him. He's going to talk and people will believe. My responsibility here is to urge an argument on the viewer. I am urging it. And I make it compelling so that the viewer will believe. If it's paining you that the viewer is believing it, raise a counter argument. But this with Jimmy or Aboa or Kwasia that we do, I salute Pentecost Church. Apostle Nyamiche and Opoko Onyina. God bless you forevermore. I salute you for observing this trend in our society and creating this event yesterday. Right Honorable Speaker Bagbin, you will go to heaven for stopping Parliament and saying that this event is so important that we have to stop Parliament. Speaker Bagbin, where is he? He will go to heaven. Alban Sumanu case for Bagbin, you will go to heaven. Apostle Damiche, you will go to heaven. President Kufuor, thank you very much. Thank you. I understand that when President Kufuor saw the invitation, I didn't wait there. Because everybody is concerned that some people mount television platforms, where social media, Jimmy or Aboa or Ekwasi. Where did we get that from? Where are they coming from? Why have we allowed these kinds of things in our society? And that's why I'm saluting the Pentecost Church. You've done well. And let other churches continue. Let people talk about it so that we can raise the standard to an argument. Is it that when the standard becomes about an argument, they will not have a job to do anymore? Is it that they will not have a job to do anymore because they can't say this, they can't make any sense. They just have to insult. That's all. With Jimmy, so a 2-hour program, 70% is insult. This evening we're going to present other analysis. We present analysis. You can challenge the analysis because we have read it, we have studied it, we have researched it. That's what television is about: to educate, to inform, and to entertain. We have to educate people. We have to inform them. And we occupy a privileged position. It's not because we are the best people. It's because we are lucky to be here. I have been privileged to be doing this for 20 years and people watch. So this thing of, and that, you see, when people are intelligent and they are reading, those things don't worry us. So you come and say, oh yeah, boy, it doesn't worry me at all. I'm concerned about the other people who are watching and getting worried. So I look at social media. So I put up those 2 messages. There were several, but these 2 were important. And I'm going to read them now so people will understand it. That this is what happened. This is what somebody put on social media. He was outraged about this matter. Everybody says Siladapa is a thief. Everybody says Siladapa's husband is a thief. Everybody says, and I met Siladapa this evening. I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story tonight. I met her around 3 or 4 o'clock today. I was with her. I'll tell you what happened, and I was with she and her husband. I shall tell you what happened. Now, which video is that? Who? Video, no. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry about that, viewers. And Terry, take this out when you're doing it. So, I was saying that I met Cecilia Dapa. Now, this guy, Kofi Asare, he was outraged about the things people were saying. So he wrote, I don't know whether they did, okay. He wrote as follows. Paul Adomatu revealed important facts the public is unaware of and must be aware of. I will be honest, I was dismissive of this episode of his show owing to the bad optics of this matter and the minister's apparent slow approach to dismiss the facts in the social media day and age, in this social media day and age. So this is Asari writing and saying that he's not necessarily partisan about anything. He said that when he saw my thing, he was dismissive of it. Let's see what he says after that. He says, then someone pointed to the 32nd minute of the show to be very useful. I took the pains to listen and I drove this morning to the court complex. I said I took the pains to listen as I drove this morning to the court complex. This is his conclusion. They are compelling. Thank you, Kofi Asare. That's what we set out to do. He said that he looked at it and said, oh, what's Paul Adomatu going to do? He dismissed it. And somebody said, no, wait. Watch from 32nd minute. And his conclusion after watching is that the facts as enumerated on the show, he describes them as they are compelling. Compelling. He said, with the facts of the charge sheet and background of the owners of the stash as presented by Paul, Mrs. Dapa may have good grounds to show to the OSP her stash is not derived from corruption or corruption-related activities. That's what he wrote. I don't know Kofi Asare. But this is the Ghana we need to build. Not somebody who drinks a peteshi at 5:45 and comes to wear black spectacles and sit on the TV and say, wait, Jimmy, why? They can't make an argument. They don't. I was going to say something. I can't even say it. Can't they make an argument? And those who hide on social media, they don't show their face, so they are writing. He's a fool. He'll go to jail. The government changes, he'll go to jail. I don't even get it. You cannot, I'm disappointed. Who are their teachers watching? Do their teachers know them? Are their teachers feeling embarrassed? The guy you taught in JSS2, he cannot make a simple argument. He says, with Jimmy, and then another guy wrote a very long thesis. Please put that up. Let's read that one as well. It was quite long, very, very long thesis he wrote. Is that it, Derek Ofer Jr.'s comment? Yes, it's quite long. Oh, okay. So it's very long. Let me try and go through it. He says, just like my interest in Good Evening Ghana was ignited by an elderly brother to whom I owe a huge thanks about more than a decade ago, posterity will not be rid of same opportunity because so long as I yet draw breath, I will make certain of that. I don't get it, but let's move on. Okay. Admittedly, he says, the road has been fairly long and like any other mortal institution. He's talking about good evening, God. Is that the beginning? Oh, take me to the beginning. Why did you put me in the middle? Okay, so this is the beginning. All right. Hold on, viewers. Hold on. I'm coming. They say I'm sweating, so they are giving me some cleanup. So I don't want you to see that. So just wait. I'll come back. Okay. All right. So this is the article by Derek. Yeah. And Derek says, for over 2 decades and counting, mighty Paul Adomotri has been at the very pinnacle of greatness vis-a-vis journalism in Ghana and Africa at large. With wits and zest as mere virtues, he gave birth to a now non-parallel current affairs show that has stood the test of time and mounted his way into the acme of eminence. Hey, the guy Tebrofu. Hey. Comparatively speaking, there hasn't been a better current affairs show in the last 20 years, and I say so objectively. Thank you, boss. Thank you. Good Evening Ghana official over the years has been a forum that has presented most of us with the rare opportunity of not only being fed with unabated current affairs issues, but more so the tutelage in elocution from the host and panels alike. I, for one, stand a huge beneficiary of this particular tutelage, for which reason many have had probable cause to brand me an eloquent fellow of the English language. Oh, I thank you. Derek said he was learning the English from, but his English is better than mine, so I'm not sure whether he learned it from me. Okay, let's go on. Whereas some may critique the modus operandi of Paul Adomotri, some are equally of the firm conviction that indeed he stands tall in comparison to any. He has carved for himself an impressive niche of which I'm a staunch member, upon whose support he will rely in delivering on his mandate as the quintessential journalist of the contemporary society. So I'll have to clap for this guy. The guy knows English. Derek, he says that he's carved for himself an impressive niche, of which I'm a staunch member, upon whose support he will rely in delivering on his mandate as a quintessential journalist of contemporary society. Okay, let's move on. Some say he's biased, others say he's not. Verily, objectively speaking, I neither think him entirely neutral, nor do I wish he was. And I have to make that point. I am not neutral. I've said that over and over and over and over again. And anytime I say this, I have to go back to Peter Ajete. When he became Speaker of Parliament, the Ghana Bar Association went to him to visit. And they told him that, Uncle Peter, now that you have become Speaker of Parliament, we expect you to be neutral. You know, in his traditional deep voice, he laughed and said, oh, what are you talking about, Ghana Bar Association? I'm a member of the New Patriotic Party. How can I be neutral? In fact, I'm his chairman. I cannot be neutral. I'm sure the word you are looking for is impartial. And I was covering the event, and I listened to Peter. I said, wow, this is deep. He said he's not neutral, but he's impartial. So I'm not neutral. How am I neutral? There's no journalist, political reporter who is neutral, who will be a good political reporter. There's no sports journalist who does not support a club. Kwabena Eboah is Asante Kotoko. Does it affect his work? Kwabena Eboah is not neutral. He's Asante Kotoko. Everybody knows that. But he's impartial. I am a right-wing reporter. I've said it, sir. I am not neutral. I'm neutral. That's what? I'm not. Is God neutral? God said that if you are lukewarm, he will spill you out of his mouth. You're either hot or cold. That lukewarm, he doesn't like it. And I can tell you, viewers, lukewarm is a pretense. Anybody who tells you is lukewarm is a pretense. All the pretenders who say that they are neutral, they are something. They are lying. They just cannot be bold to say it. I am a right-wing reporter. Full stop. I am not neutral. I'm a right-wing reporter. But I have a responsibility to do my work in a certain way. So, am I CNN or Fox? I'm Fox. Am I Real Madrid or Barcelona? I'm Real Madrid. Am I Manchester United or Arsenal? I'm Manchester United. Am I Asante Kotoko or Hasselhoff? I'm Asante Kotoko. I am not neutral. Neutral for what? Am I Azuma Nelson or Juvenal or Dennis? I am Azuma Nelson. Full stop. What is neutral? Am I Airbus or Boeing? I am Boeing. I'm not neutral. Why am I neutral? Am I Barclays or Stanchart? I am something, but I won't say it because it's somebody's business. I'm something. Why? I'm not neutral. I'm not neutral at all. I don't want to be. Am I charismatic or orthodox? I am charismatic. I'm not neutral. And that's for Christian religion. I'm not neutral. So this issue of you have a journalist, you have to be neutral. The responsibility on me is to be impartial. So the other day, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC called me, and he says, Paul, I want to come on your show and criticize the Electoral Commission. I said, you are welcome. He said, really? I said, oh, you can come. Why not? You can come. That is the impartiality. I have to host him. I do not agree with his political philosophy, but I host him. He came, he spoke. When I sent North, Elvis Ankara came on my show. He spoke, he said all the things he wants to say against anybody. He did. It's okay, it's fine. So I'm a right-wing reporter. I am not left-wing. I cannot be, I don't want to be. So, but I'm impartial. If there's an NDC story, I'll treat it. If there's an MPP story, I'll treat it. There's a CPP story, I'll treat it. I have friends in NDC and friends in MPP. But my mind is right-wing. That's the philosophy I believe in. And that's how I report my stories. I'm a right-wing reporter. I am not left-wing. No, I'm not. So I'm not neutral, but I'm impartial. And I try to do my work as a great news reporter. Those of you who have seen my report, I hope you like it. When I sent North, you saw the report. I hope you like it. NDC won the election. Did we say that NDC didn't win? Can we say that NDC didn't win when NDC won the election? In 2008, I stood on this program and I said, congratulations to Professor Mills, but I think Ghanaians have voted wrongly because I support Akufo-Addo. 2008. Here, Atachia and Toniedu were the guests on that show. Toniedu and Atachia, they were the guests on that show. This must be 6th January of 2009. Fantastic. Okay, so let me go on. I think okay, some say he's biased, others say he's not. Verily, objectively speaking, I neither think him entirely neutral, nor do I wish he was. Thank you, Derek. He is but human, and that means he has the discretionary power to choose sides, so long as he does so with sheer fidelity to data. Thank you. Really, none of us is neutral, lest he parades himself as a hypocrite. That's the point I'm making, Derek. Thank you, Derek. Charlie, can you find the guy's number? Let me invite him to this program. Go on Facebook and look for Derek Ofe Jr. and let's bring him on the show. I need him here. He has a great mind. He's thinking correct. He doesn't have to agree with me, but the guy is thinking correct. He says that those who say that they are neutral, they are hypocrites. How can you be an adult in this society and say I'm neutral? You're lying. You're not neutral. You're neutral that way. You are lying. You are just afraid to say because you can't defend it. You can't make an argument. You can't make an argument. You want to say, oh yeah, boy, that's what you want to say. So oh me, I'm neutral. I don't do that. I'm a journalist. I'm neutral. I don't do. You are a liar. You are not neutral. You are a hypocrite. That's what Derek is saying. Really, none of us is neutral, lest he parades himself as a hypocrite, akin to many in the profession he ought not to be. I'm neutral that what? I mean, is Kwesi Pratt neutral? Kwesi Pratt is a left-wing reporter. He is not neutral. Kwesi Pratt has never been neutral. He's a left-wing reporter. Kofi Kumsin is a right-wing reporter. I'm not sure about Ben Efson. I think Ben Efson too is left. Kweku Bakum is left and right, but more left because his father is Kofi Bakum. But as for Kwesi Pratt, he's left. I know that. And we talk. I engage him. I love him. And he knows I'm a right-wing reporter. He said, as for you, Paul, I can't even trust anything you say. And then we laugh about it. The other day, I was in his house for a party. I think about 3 years ago. Actually, his daughter's house for a party. Then when I got in, his daughter was excited that I'd come, introduce me to her husband. Then he said, your people are here. When I turned, when he pointed, your people are here, Kwesi Pratt was there with Sami Okujeto a black one. And I said, yeah, today I'm dead. The argument, the Kwesi Pratt's wife came and said, you people, are you coming for party? Okujeto said, you, Paul, I said, you too. Kwesi Pratt said, nobody said anybody is a boa in that conversation. We argued for 2.5 hours. He said, no, Ablakwa said, no, Paul. I said, I don't agree with you. That story that you broke is not a good story. He said, but that day you were treating that story like that. We were hungry and we ate and nicely. Nobody said anybody is a boa. They are left wing, I'm right wing. It's fair. That's how we build Ghana together. They didn't pretend. Kwesi Pratt doesn't pretend that he's neutral. He's neutral for what? He's a left wing reporter. So those who give the neutral pretense, they are hypocrites. Let's be serious about it, okay? Okay, the guy goes on. It's quite long, viewers, sorry. To those who disagree with his view and therefore resort to the use of disparaging and derogatory remarks directed at this honorable comrade rather than constructive criticism should know that for 20 years he has had to endure this. He has stood his ground as the indefatigable professional he is and has withered worse than any of us can ever fathom. Indeed, he will patently and palpably weather this too. Of course, we will, by the grace of God. I call him mighty because his fineness and panache in carrying out his professional duty as a journalist inspires me in ways none can ever imagine, especially his adeptness in the area of jurisprudence. Hey, the guy knows English. Hey, this guy, Derek. What secondary school did you go to? Please tell me you went to Presec. Don't say you went to Adisadel or I beg you, Derek. Even if you didn't go to Presec, say you went to Presec, because this your skill there. Charlie, it is only Mrs. Adom. Our English teacher was called Mrs. Adom and Mr. Champon. Only Mrs. Champon could have taught you that. May she rest in peace. Or Mrs. Adom could have taught you this. Hey! He says, I call him mighty because his fineness and panache in carrying out his professional duty as a journalist inspires me in ways none can ever imagine, especially his adeptness in the area of jurisprudence. From the days of Joy FM, extinct with the BBC, through to the Times at City, and now on Metro TV, there's no beating the verity of the greatness inspired by this colossal figure in journalism here in Ghana and the entire continent of Africa. Just like my interest in Good Evening Ghana was ignited by an elder brother to whom I owe a huge thanks. About more than a decade ago, posterity will not be rid of the same opportunity because so long as I yet draw breath, I will make certain of that. He says that he also sent Good Evening Ghana to the rest. Admittedly, the road has been fairly long. It's quite long. Let me move on. Okay, I think there's a final paragraph. Congratulations are in order for the mighty Paul Adomotri and the whole Good Evening Ghana crew on an enviable 20-year plus journey, among many other things, for the fact that you inspire we the young ones to dare attempt greatness. We say thank you and we wish you Godspeed on the road ahead. For our sakes and how far we have come with this, dare I say, we've only just begun. Keep this going ad infinitum. I am Derek Ofe Jr. and I stand for Paul Adomochi. Wow, I love this guy. I just love this guy. Man, hey, you see the English? You see sensible people, the way they present it. In that prose. Some people were with Jimmy. Paul Adomochi was with Jimmy. What does it mean? What does it even mean? You can't make an argument. You can't bring your brain to compete. You just go about with Jimmy. Okay, it's 15 minutes past 10 now. Let me tell you the story about Cecilia Adapa. So today I went there this afternoon around 3 or 4 hours with my boy John. Anybody who knows me knows John. He's my driver, he's my butler, he's my everything. You know, he's been with me since he was 15 or something. He's about late 20s now. So I was with John. So I told John, let's drive to Abelinkwe. So he's driving, going. I'm getting a lot of phone calls, and then he's also John is looking at his phone. And he said, hey, Jonas, or see, he's laughing. He's showing it to me. I said, park the car, let's look at it. We look at it, we laugh. So I get to Auntie Ceci's place. Then I call her. I said, Paul, what about? I said, Mabao. I get into the house. My first time. I've seen the house on TV, courtesy of my friend Kisi Ajabin. I've seen it on TV. So I get in there. Then I talk to her. She says, Brabe Chadada. So I walk in. And the old man is sitting by a round table. He's in a Lacoste, black and white, and his round spectacles. This man, that's the spectacles. That's the same thing he was wearing. This is the one he was wearing. Very decent looking guy. He tries to stand up. He said, oh, Paul, Nyamin Shao. I said, oh, thank you, Jesus. For an 84-year-old man to tell you late 40s that Nyamin Shao from his heart is a blessing. And I received it. He said, oh, Paul, Nyamin Shao. And Rakra, Mentimi Ahyo, Namada. Na Anopano na, Kumasi phone na, Fremina, and Kolana Digu iPad, Nesonam. Hey, now unya charge sheets no way. I said, no problem. He said, hey, where are dear Pao? Hey, what's going on? like that. Until he said, I said, Auntie Zizi, I'm going. Then Auntie Zizi said, you want one more yama obiana. I said, Angwamo. Sister Dapa is an interesting woman. She said, I said, I've not heard Angwamo. The name Angwamo, I don't know the last time I heard it. He said, I said, hey, she said, and I was looking at her, I was laughing. This is a woman in trouble. And she was in such high spirits. And then, as we were conversing, she gets a phone call. So she picks the call. Écoutez, à bientôt, oui, oui. I said, hey, auntie, is it out to French? She said, Nanka. Now, you some French. I said, me French will school because now Senegal class you French. I said, hey, what's the French? And I said, oh, they're in Penin there. Until now, I'm in Paula, don't much in Penin. Then she's walking away. I said, I don't want Angwamo, please. I don't want Angwamo. So we had a chat. We talked about, I said, how is she doing? She said she's fine. And then her husband comes into the conversation again. He said, now, Paul, who free him? You know, the old people, they always ask that question. Oh. I was with John. Who free him? I said, oh, Mifi Kwamu. He said, hey, Kwamu, bae, I just saw Kwamu. Yeah, Kwamu. Oh, mammy, if you are an asa, papa. I said, mammy, papa, you're not free her. He said, ain't John Kumaya or MP? I said, aye. He said, oh, Kwamu, de minimum pow. I said, when I saw you, then he looked at me again. He said, Paul, Namin Shroud. And I said, wow. Then he saw John. He said, Obani and I said, Mini Papa, I don't know John. He said, John, who free him? I said, John, free Bongo, Upper East. Then he said, Bongo, Bogatanga, 1971, me a project be oh. I said, wow, 1971. And John started laughing because he wasn't born, far away from being born. Then he told John the point. John said, yes, that project is still there. He said, 1971. That time, it wasn't Upper, it was Upper Region. Me a project be oh. Famous architect of 53 years standing. Famous architect of 50. He's telling a young man that I did a project in your hometown in 1971. And then I'm talking to Zladapa and I'm saying that if you're not 5 hours, he said 5 hours, Ben. 5 dear Ben hours. You know, this is like that. And then I said, it's a Hana Muti. He said, he said, then we did the 1976. Oh, Pony, I said, 76, then I me. He said, 1976, I bet now. I said, 76, 1976. I died in 1976, I bet name. Beautiful house. I mean, the house, by the courtesy of OSP, we all know how the house looks like. So, 1976, they were there. We had a chat, and I said, this is an ML program, see me, they may call. I said, weekend, I'm in Kumasi, and then he said, I'm going to Kumasi Sunday. I said, okay, so we'll talk. And then we had exchanges, talks. She came to see me off. I mean, you won't believe her age. I mean, if you see her at home, she's very bubbly. And then I saw a policeman there. I panicked small. I saw a policeman. He walked and then opened the gates. He didn't laugh. And I said, officer, how are you? He nodded his head. He didn't laugh. Then I left. I said, John, let's go. He said, I said, coffee, are ready for program? And then we drove away, John and I. I had a beautiful day. I didn't take the Angwamo. And maybe I should go and take it. If viewers think I should take the Angwamo, please send me a text. That's the other passage. She has Angwamo. I'll go and collect it. Because she told me that they wouldn't need Dekra. That's what happened. So congratulations. No, that's it. Thank you very much, Daddy, for blessing me with the blessing of the Lord. And thank you, Auntie Sisi, for receiving me in the house today and giving me all the information. And Daddy, thank you very much. Today is the first day I saw him. And I asked Auntie Sisi about whether Daddy is related to President Kufuor. And he said no. And she talked to me more about her mother. And about Bantama politics, and you know she was Bantama MP before. And then I asked her that, was she ever Minister for Works and Housing? And he said, oh yes, she was Deputy Minister and became Minister of State. I said, yeah, somebody told me that Zladapa used to be Minister of Works and Housing under the Kufuor regime. So she told me all that. We had a nice chat. She showed me everything that the people, Omofaha, Omuye and Omofaha, and Omokoha, and Omofaha. Now we're in a D5 hours now. I said, well, anyway, the OSP hasn't said himself that he did anything there for 5 hours. It is news reports coming out. So that was my day. We're going to do our analysis today, but we'll take a break. My producer wants me to read this. Maybe we should take a break and get the break out of the way, because my bosses have been on me about the breaks. They say you do the good in Ghana, you don't take the break, you don't take the break. So let's take a short break. When we come back, I have some analysis about election 2024. Who is going to win? Who could win? Why would he win? And I'm building the analysis from the 10 slots that MPP gave the other day. Kwame Pinim said something about the 10. I'll get that for you as well. And then the analysis will get more controversial when I show you the priest. Some pastor has gotten trouble for himself. He has firmly predicted what will happen in 2024. He has trouble, but I'll show you what it is, and then we'll show you some figures as well. It's always about the analysis here on Good Evening Ghana. After the break, we are still here. Thank you for staying with us.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you now, and couple the makers in
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night, that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited, up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasama Zongo Junction, Edike Pharmacy Dining, Oyer Fateman Boga Junction, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi, Ahinema Kokobin, Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Number 9 Market.
Mom and Dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Yamawakwaba the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie e bano care see near Wakadia. Ubenya viewa. Care bian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye wo hwenim de fu a obeso anu yi ama. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye dwumedie de. Eye 24/7 o. Ye sese wo engine, wo brake, battery, yesesa wo tire. Se bano car wash dia. Je wo abefun fidie bi ti se steamer ye de horo car engine abra nsuo nko engine nim. Ye san ye detailing metre se ye betwetwe car no mu ba bia ama. Ye wi a ya san polish car na ma kama. Enye we no nko ye san to car batteries, tires, rims, any de keke kan. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories Emma wo car ensi ne dadem na nwu adwuma ma o. Hwehwe ye chira kwan wo dansoma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwanimu e won kran. Se wo information anansem bi se bia, fresh 024 651 9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories.
Stand to win your share of up to 10 million Ghana cedis in prizes with Betway's Scratch and Win. You can earn your first scratch card by playing table games, slots, or quick games. Scratch and reveal a range of exciting prizes from smartphones to fuel vouchers and more. Visit www.betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
A state-of-the-art facility built with your family needs in mind. A medical center positioned for all your fertility problems and other diseases. Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center. Our goal is to help our patients achieve and maintain optimal health. We have fully functional OPD laboratories in all our branches. Do you have problems urinating? Medimosis is the ultimate solution. Our Prostacure X capsules and Prostacure Herbal Tea treat prostate problems. Afromosis capsules gives you maximum performance. And for the ladies, Femacure X capsules solves all your menstrual problems. Locate Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center at Adenta Barrier near the traffic light. Ashaman, Ajekojo, Kumasi, Ahirima Kokobing, and in Accra, Ministries after the Ghana Highways Yard. Call 0244 068 447. We accept National Health Insurance card and all other private insurance card. Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center, your ultimate solution for prostate problems.
Do you need a place with a stunning view and serene environment just beneath the Green Mountains with a commercial center and recreational area with an amazing park? Then look no further.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, the most affordable yet luxurious gated community located in Damfa, Accra. We have 2 and 3 bedroom houses with spacious park. Let me show you. All of our rooms come with beautiful porcelain tiles, durable fitted kitchen cabinets,
constant water supply,
electricity and water 24/7.
I'm buying this house. Stop processing my papers. Eh?
Asking me to put my crooked voice in the song again. Coming for to carry me home, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, swing low, swing high, coming for to carry me home, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Derek, that's for you, eh? That's for you. Swing low, swing high, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Half an hour past 10 o'clock, and it's live on Good Evening Ghana. Tonight we have Machiavelli here. He wrote something. We'll share with you before we get to the political analysis. And the political analysis will begin with the MPP ballot of 10 and with what Kwame Pianim has said about it. We'll go to the pastor who is in trouble, and then we'll do some analysis with election results 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020. We have observed a certain trend in the results, the relationship between the 2 leading presidential candidates and the spoiled ballot. We're going to show you something in there. It's something that's taking a long time for us to piece together. We're going to share with you tonight. That's what we do. If you don't like it, don't come and say we're Jimmy. Otherwise, you will fall in the level of those people. You don't like it, you can criticize it. You don't like it, you can oppose it. You don't like it, you can make an argument. But with Jimmy Abuade, I hope that after today, I'm sure tomorrow they'll come and say, and family who with Jimmy? Yeah, that is defeatist. That is just defeatist. They are embarrassed. They have been disgraced. They are embarrassed. When people are embarrassed, they do that. We'll give it to them. After a while, they will stop. We pray that they stop. And then they should read something. Just read something. You are fortunate to be on TV. Please read something and come and share. Journalism is about educating, informing, and entertaining. To educate and to inform and to entertain. It's not come and insult. It's not part of it. It's never been part of it, and it will never be part of it. Okay. All right. Let me take the text messages and then I come to you. Let me begin, Antoinette. What are people saying?
Okay, thank you, Paul. This is a submission from James Johnny. He says, weak minds use violence and vulgar language to register their disagreements, but super minds support their views with cogent reasons. Paul, go on and educate us. Stay blessed. Master Planner Jr. watching us from King Tampo says, good evening, Mr. Paul de facto. Please don't give ears to those insults. They don't have any fact, so the only way to kill time on their show is by insulting. Your time is used judiciously, and we like it like that. Here is a long read from Kobe Michaels. He says, good evening, Uncle Paul. You've really educated us so much on how to make a very good argumentative point. It's good we have people like you to emulate from. I believe it's only shallow minds that cannot make their own point or make their views clear enough to defend their stance. Let the brains work, and that will set you a liberty path to follow. Make an argument, but come clear on it, or better still, substantiate it. Please keep enlightening us so that the distinction will be clear from us and the novices. We know the agile journalists, let them scream to the roof, and the discerning society will make a fair judgment. Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Paul. Lastly, from Mahami Adams. Good evening, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is a Dr. Baumia in journalism. He takes his time to look and speak to facts, but unfortunately, the lazy ones always come and start calling his names without double checking. No amount of insult will stop us from watching and appreciating your great analysis. God bless you and keep doing it.
Okay, let me read this. Otherwise, it'll kill me at home. Let me read this. So 10:22. Hello, Daddy. I don't respond. Then 10:22. It's Joe and Kay. We think you should take the Angwamo. Then I respond. I say, hey, I write H-E-R-R. And then they send me laughter. 10:25. It says, will you say it? I'm talking, so I didn't respond. 10:25. It says, Joda said you shouldn't say her name. So I get confused. So I text. I said, who is texting? K or none? And then she said, it is K. Then 10:30 said, oh, Daddy, you can't sing. And then she puts laughter. Is that not beautiful? Hey, you people, go and sleep. It's past your bedtime. Stop watching TV. Go and sleep. All of you, wake up right now. Go and sleep. You're watching TV for what? Tomorrow, you can watch it on your iPad. Go and sleep, okay? It's an instruction from the studio. Go and sleep. Okay, sleep. Okay. All right. Please, next text message.
All right. All right, so Abdul says, God bless you, sir. People give out what they have. If their reactions are unsavory, it tells you of their intellectual incapacity. Continue to set the pace. Pros M. Love says, one of the greatest misfortunes that seems to have befallen the Ghanaian community, especially the youth, is to resort to heavy insult rather than constructive criticism and argument. We need to grow up as a society. Atta Bernard says, it is unfortunate most people on our social media platforms do not like to argue on issues, but rather tend to insult. We were taught debating back at school, but it seems most people did not take it seriously or never understood it. Having divided opinions does not mean you should insult people who choose what to believe. But lastly, I think my most favorite message from today is from Oluwa, who says, go back immediately after the program and bring the oil rice for all of us to enjoy. I agree. We'll all enjoy the oil rice today.
All right, thank you, Ella. Apparently, it's not just Olua who wants you to go for the rice. Tanko also wants you to go back for the rice, Paul. So coming from All Is Well, Kwashi, he says you are a gem in this industry. Your analysis is always based on facts and data. Kudos, Paul and the crew. Coming from Chidi Kwashi, he says, there's nothing as neutrality when it comes to qualitative human issues, but to be neutral is not same as being factual and cognitive in reasoning and argumentation. From Wellington Ade, he says, watching you live in New York City, Brother Paul, you are so intelligent. Those who don't have wisdom will not understand you. Okay. From Junior Agba Tamale, he says, Mr. Paul, don't mind them. We who believe in you will continue to believe in you because we believe that what you are doing is nothing but proper journalism. That is what we need in Ghana to move the nation forward. Don't mind propaganda. People, it will never have them continue to do the good work for us. So he's saying continue to do the good work for us and we will continue to appreciate you. Yes, to you, Angelo.
Great. So I'm just going to run through these briefly. Bernard D. Afokwashi says, sir, please next time use the helmets. Thank you. He's referring to you going through the Chalawete Festival. Yes.
Good advice.
Yes. Moving on from Kumasi in the Ashanti region, it's Derek Ofejun. Apparently was watching the show. He says, your boy is live on Metro TV. Tune in and watch now. I'm in tears now. I don't know what to do. Yes, moving on. Kwesi Barcelona from Mickle Camp says, good evening, Adum and your crew. One thing I personally have observed in our media landscape is that there are some who call themselves media practitioners but know nothing about journalism and cannot make any meaningful intellectual narrative. Adum, just focus your mandate to 1, inform, 2, educate, 3, entertain your viewers. The funny thing is that they, in quote, cannot miss your Tuesday and Thursday shows, so I believe they watching at this very moment, so I send my sincere greetings to them. They should learn I and like-minded people cannot afford to miss the show. Good evening, Ghana, for anything. Moving on, Recordman says, I keep emphasizing that life isn't about how long you live. It's about the impact you leave within the brief time you have. Current affairs are covered by over 20 journalists from Monday to Friday, which is 5 days. However, when one man performs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that is 2 days, a great tsunami sweeps across all other journalistic and media outlets. Moving on, Kojo Opoku, watching us from New York, hello to you, says, he who cannot sustain an argument in a debate uses insults to end it. The lack of logical coherence abounds in our media space. Keep up the good work as you continue to make the complex issues understandable. From Tema West, this message says, Mr. Paul, some people talk behind your back because they lost the privilege to talk to you. False knowledge is indeed more dangerous than ignorance. They claim they are journalists, yet they can't make proper inferential judgments. Continue doing the good work. And lastly, Farouk Tema says, I'm thinking this message has been read already, so I'll hand over to you, Paul.
This is for the ladies. Somebody sends me a text. He says, bro, your studio assistants are beautiful. I mean the girls. So, Mikhail, not you, please. Means the girls. Tell them your little brother is single. Hey, people are using Good Evening Ghana for all kinds of things. You know, Apostle Paul says, oh, yeah, they are beautiful, and they can you see? Anastasia, oh, they are beautiful. And are you all single, please? Hey, please, are you all single? Oh, you are yes for you, no for you, and situationship for the other. I heard that these days. I don't understand. Young people say I'm in a situationship. What does it mean? I have to call Uncle Ebo White and ask him. Oh, Mikhail, do you know what situationship is? What is it?
A situationship is where you go out with someone a few times and it's not a defined relationship, but potentially it could be something. But you don't want to talk about it because if you talk about it, the person might eventually stop talking to you. So you just keep going with things until eventually.
And there's no intimacy.
There's intimacy, but like it's.
And it's still situationship after the intimacy.
Yeah, but if you try and make it into a relationship, the person might go away. So you just keep going.
In the situationship.
Until you get tired of each other.
Hey. Yeah. Okay, that's for Uncle Ebo White. Okay, he can deal with all of those things very, very, very well. All right, now we are back on the show. 20 minutes at the top of the hour 11. I have political story to tell you, but Machiavelli is here. You know, he wrote something that tickled me when I read it for the first time many years ago, and I thought I should share it with viewers. It's very interesting. It's not directly related to anything we are discussing, but it is very interesting, poignant and interesting. He says as follows. Those who wish to win the favor of a prince will generally approach him with gifts of what they value most or what they believe will delight him. Hence, we see princes being offered horses, arms, vestments of gold, precious stones, and similar accoutrements worthy of their grandeur. Wishing to present myself to your magnificence with a token of my deep respect, I have found among my possessions nothing that I value or esteem higher than my knowledge of the deeds of great men. I have acquired this knowledge through my long experience of modern affairs and a lifelong study of ancient times, all of which I have weighed and examined with great diligence and brought together into this small volume, which I am now offering to your magnificence. Though I deem this work unworthy of being in your illustrious presence, my confidence in your benevolence persuades me that I will be accepted, and that your magnificence will recognize that I cannot offer you a greater gift than the prospect of your understanding in the shortest period all that I have experienced and learned over so many years and with so much danger and hardship. I have not filled this volume with pompous rhetoric, with bombast and magnificent words, or with the unnecessary artifice with which so many writers glade their work. I wanted nothing extraneous to ornament my writing, for it had been my purpose that only the range of material and the gravity of the subject should make it pleasing. Wow, beautiful. Nor do I wish it to be thought presumptuous that a man of low and humble condition like myself should presume to map out and direct the government of prince. But just as a cartographer will descend into the plains in order to study the nature of the mountains, and will then climb the highest peaks in order to study the low-lying land, so too, only an exalted prince can grasp the nature of the people, and only a lesser man can perceive the nature of a prince. Beautiful. I hope, therefore, that your magnificence will accept this humble gift in the spirit in which it is offered. Should you condescend to read and consider it carefully, you will perceive in its pages my profound desires, that your magnificence will rise to the greatness that fortune and your qualities promise. And should your magnificence design to look down from the lofty summit of your eminence to these lowly depths, you will see how I have suffered undeservedly fortune's great and continuing malignity. This is what Machiavelli gave to Medici, the prince in Rome in those days. Now, when Medici became prince, he called on all his father's people, and it was a test of loyalty. So you come to him and then you bow. Test of loyalty, like we do today. You know, when Queen Elizabeth died, you saw that all the former prime ministers came, and the test of loyalty, they went to Prince Charles and said, God save the king. You saw Boris Johnson said it very loud, God save the king, God save the king. That's a test of loyalty. It is in that kind of courts, a situation, where Machiavelli finds himself. So Machiavelli is called upon as an advisor to the old king, the new prince. He's called upon, okay, Machiavelli, say what he said, I have for you a book. And it's entitled The Prince. Machiavelli's book, The Prince. And then he says, what is in the book? And this is what Machiavelli says. And after saying this, he could have been killed. But the prince listened quietly. And he said, give me the book. And that's the book that we read today. Machiavelli, The Prince. Beautiful story. I thought I'll share with you. So I'm happy that you like it. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's now get to the political stuff. NPP 10. Okay, who are they? So the NPP conducted a ballot. This story you already know. And these are the 10. 1, Kennedy Japan. 2, Alan Kojo Chematin. 3, my friend Joe Garte, former Attorney General. Kojo Poku, everyone loves him, isn't it? Also Free Akoto, Kwabena Japan. Adainimo was SRC president at KNUST in his days, by the way, Engineer Adainimo. Kofi Konado Apreku, Alan Chematin, and Mahamadou Baumia. All right, so Kennedy Japan picks number 1, and Alan picks number 2, Baumia picks number 10. Viewers, just text to us who you think are the 5. So let me pick I can't pick 5, so I'll pick 4. But if those of you are bold enough to pick 5, pick 5. So I'm going to pick my 4. Who are the 4 going to emerge from this clearly? The contest is going to produce 5, and the 5 will say goodbye to them. They go home. Okay, my 5. I was going to start with, you see this thing, when you start with some name, it becomes something. So I'll start with, also Free Akoto. Also Free Akoto. It's in my 4. Also Free Akoto. Alan Chematin. Kennedy Japan. No, let me change the order. I don't want any problem, so let me change the order. My 5. Okay, I won't say any 5. I don't know the 5. Please, viewers, send a text to them, and then they'll read it. Give me your 5. Who are the 5 who are going to come out of this, and who are the 5 who are not going to be part of it? All of them are my friends, isn't it? It's only Kojo Poku that I haven't met. Joe Garte, I know very well. Of course, Alan Chemate, I know him so well. Of course, Kennedy Japan. My boy, John, I was telling you, John, the other day I went for a meeting at this Legon with Kwame Usu, Kennedy Japan's campaign manager. I wanted to engage with the Kennedy Japan people to understand what they are about. So I went to Pombio was there, Kwame Usu was there, Kennedy Japan was there. It was a Sunday night. Kennedy Japan was there, and Opombio, Kennedy Japan, Edward Boateng was there. So we sat down, and I sat in front of them around the table, and I said, so gentlemen, what is this your campaign about? And then they talked to me about it, blah, blah, blah. And after that, I had an interview in Kennedy Japan here, if you remember. So I was with John. So when I came out and I was going, John asked me that, Kennedy, you know, I said, yeah, why? He said, and I said, oh, get down, and come and greet him. The speed with which John got out of the car, and he rushed to Kennedy, and he bowed. And I said, oh, he's my boy. He said, sorry. Master, no, papa, why? Then John was saluting him, Then he went to the car and we left. So they are all my friends, yeah? Alan Chematin, of course, I know him very well. Joe Garte, when he was Deputy Attorney General, we used to meet almost every evening. Those days I used to do Eyewitness. When I finished Eyewitness News at Adabaka and City FM, I'm going to Joe Garte's office. You know, Ayuko too had pushed him to the far corner of the Attorney General's office. So on the second floor, his office was at the far corner. I just climbed there, I'll knock, and then he'll be there. Usually I'll go and meet Philip Addison there. The Philip Addison that we all know. Usually he was with Joe Garte, and they told me they were mates at Infants Payment. They kept their friendship. So I'll stay with them 2-3 hours, we'll be talking. That's back in the day, 2006. Then later he became Attorney General. And it is my relationship with Joe Garte that made me the lead reporter for the Georgina Wood Committee. Because I was with him when he was setting it up. So I'll give the story to City. And I was reporting. Now that's how City became the lead station covering the Georgina Wood. It was because of my relationship with Joe Garte. I was sitting with him in the Attorney General's office, and he'll be writing the documents, appointing the people, taking calls from Ambassador DK Osei, who was Secretary to the President. Then I can hear what DK Osei is saying. Then, Joe Garte gave me that opportunity to understand what the Attorney General does, and I'm very grateful to him. So Joe is my man. All right. Also, Ifeanyi Akoto is my best friend. You see, the thing I like about also Ifeanyi Akoto, he's brutally honest. His honesty, it knows no bounds. He's just brutally honest. And the reason why I have so much love for him is my experience in 2002. Was it? 2003. I went to President Kufuor's house on a Saturday morning. Sometimes I do that those days at airport residential area. And then I went, I've forgotten who I spoke to. President Kufuor's daughter, Nanama, was usually there. Cecilia Dapa was usually there. He said, he was laughing at me. He looked like a strong, perfect man. They said he was 87 or something like that. I said, hey! He said, this is Bafo. I said, Asante Yinichami, the one we know, the one in the books, the NLM, National Liberation Movement. I said, yeah, this is him. This is 2003. Unfortunately, the next year, President Kufuor was in Kumasi attending Bafo's Akoto's funeral. I was so devastated. This is the guy I had seen 80 plus something, 85 plus, standing there strong like that. Just a year after, they said Bafo had passed. I said, oh, Jesus, I saw him in President Kufuor's house. So years later, I believe it was out in London somewhere. Akufo-Addo was foreign minister. I was a student. And anytime, when I was a student, anytime Akufo-Addo came to London, Yakwache would call me that we are in London, so we are at the same hotel if you want to come. I said, oh, of course, I'll come. Yakwache did very well. May he rest in peace. He had my London number.
Metro TV.
He said, no, I'm not writing exams. He said, hey, Yaba. So you know where we are, you can come. So I went to see Akufo-Addo in one of those occasions. And then Osofie was there. He wasn't a minister at the time, so I'd never met him really. I didn't know much about him. And then Nana-Addo told me that, as we used to call him then, that this is, you know him? I said, no. He said, he looked at me and said, you, good evening, Ghana, who doesn't know you? And then he said, this is Osofie Akoto. I said, oh, okay. The name didn't mean. I said, this is Bafo's son. I said, hey. His Bafo, I said, yes. And the president said, this is my best friend. This is then. He was foreign minister, you know. So from that day, Bafo, Osofie and I just hit it. Osofie, you would love him. He's a brutally honest man. Charlie's honesty levels are sure, correct. You can't, he doesn't have any hypocrisy in him. He's just brutal like that, you know. Anyway. And then Kwabena Japan, of course. Kwabena Japan is our man. He's been our man from Young Executive Forum, from his office in Asylum down at Dabrakas, TV, sports, Asante Kotoko. Kwabena Japan is everything. Adainimo, I know him a little bit. I've had one meeting with him before. Kofi Kunadu Aprekutu, I know him well. Boache Jaku is the man whose brain you have to respect. And of course, Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia. All right, so 10 of them. What did Kwame P&M say about them? Let's have a look. What did Kwame P&M say? Maybe the video. Yeah, let's watch Kwame P&M. This is what he said about the 10.
The president, not just for the personal aggrandizement of one person. It is to enable the party to implement its policies, its ideology. So any of the MPP candidates, as far as we are concerned, will perform better in terms of our philosophy and our outlook on life than anybody from the other side.
Na party imponye
not just for the personal aggrandizement of one person. It is to enable the party to implement its policies, its ideology. So any of the MPP candidates, as far as we are concerned, will perform better in terms of our philosophy and our outlook on life than anybody from the other side.
President Kufuor said, Mr. Kwame P&M said, these 10 are better. Any of them is better than anybody from the other side. That's what he said. I didn't say it. Okay. Whilst we do that, let me read an LPM before we go on. This is it's the Makers Electronics Blessing Attack promo. Rush to the Makers Electronics Company Limited for up to 67% discount on selected appliances such as Samsung, LG, NASCO, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. Quality but affordable with 2 years manufacturer's warranty. Visit our showroom. It's at Taifa, Burkina Highway. It's at Amasaman, Zongo Junction. It's at Oyarefa, Teman, Boga Junction. It's at Kaswa New Market. It's at Ashaman, Valco Flat. It's at Kumasi, Ahinima Kokobeng. It's at Takrade, Efiekuma, number 9 Market. And the phone number to call to get this discount to buy these appliances for yourself, your family, your friend, your spouse. The phone number to call 055 222 055 2222 and 53. 055 222 53 or 055 222 54. 055 222 53, 055 222 54. That is the Makers Electronics Company. Get there, they have a 67% discount. Amazing. That's totally amazing. And you can get your appliances and you can watch Good Evening Ghana, or you can listen when we start the podcast, which will start soon. Mention lifts. This is mention lifts and elevators. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stand in our way. It often becomes challenging, as you know. So you don't have to worry about that anymore if you are old, because with portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVEs, you are sure to have unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and your home. It's a simple to use self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at home. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. You may call it luxury, but it is a necessity. Please call this number 0200 535 515. 0200 535 515. Mikhail, thank you very much for this. It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour 11. We ran a bit out of time. Let's get on quickly with this. Okay, so that's the 10, and that's Kwame Pianim. Now, a priest has gotten himself into trouble. A priest. This is what he says. Do we have a text about it? Okay, yes. So the priest says, Bawumia led MPP to win 2024 polls with 50.9%, with 105 seats, Kumasi-based prophets. The guy has put himself into NDC trouble. Because this is what he said. He said, if Bawumia leads the MPP, he will get 50.9 and MPP will get 153 seats for the 2024 election. Okay, these are the details. A Kumasi-based prophet who is famously credited with predicting election results accurately has once again prophesied victory for the ruling MPP in 2024 elections with the Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia as his flag bearer. Prophet Paul Kusiapia of the Charismatic Temple International Ministry located at Ayensua says the ruling party will secure 50.9 in the presidential elections and 153 seats come December 7, 2024. The MPP will surely emerge victorious in the 2024 election. Dr. Bawumia will be their flag bearer and he will win 13 regions out of 16, whilst the MPP will secure 153 seats to lead parliament. Prophet Kusiapia stated, quote, Dr. Bawumia will secure 64% of the votes in the presidential primaries by winning 13 out of the 16 regions he predicted. That's him. Okay, young man. Hey, young man, you like trouble, oh. According to him, the current Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, Chairman Wuntumi, holds the key to the victory of the MPP, adding that Chairman Wuntumi will also take the mantle from Mr. Stephen Intim, who will only serve 1 term as the national chairman. Hey, Chairman Wuntumi is going to be the national chairman. You know, Wuntumi is my man. Wuntumi there is my man. No 2 ways about it. So I had a video of, please play that video. Now we started with he and Kennedy Japan. They were in the studio talking. Please play that video. Now that they mentioned what we play, then we go on. Play that video.
Young guys, we are the China. We are, you know. Oh, I can't get this. Don't say Makora. I know. I'm not saying. Me say I'm not saying this is me power. What you want? And I'm saying I'm not saying.
I would have confirmed one and
what just and I'm so yes stupid
criminal.
Or some them so the outside. Don't tell me. No kwana me. Only scanika sao catch them so. Would you say me am kwara bia. Would you say me am kwara anything out the policy for young guys to be able to do what China. Oh yeah, you know. Use
your friend Agaga.
Oh, Agaga this don't show my color. I know. I'm not saying. Me say I'm not saying this is me power. What you want? And I'm saying I'm not saying.
I would have confirmed one and
what just and I'm so yes stupid
criminal.
Or some them so the outside. Don't tell me.
I just like the feel about these right-wing people. You know, right-wing people are also quite honest. Yeah, what Kenneth Apon told him. So when to me is talking, he says, "Anas ni me pa." Kenneth Apon looks at him and says, "I saw the akron phone kwan on your monam." Then when to me says, "I they sell," and they are all laughing. Is that not beautiful? Why do you have to? Is that not beautiful? When to me is talking, he says something about Anas. He says, "Anas me nim no pao." Then Kennedy said, "I saw the akron phone kwan." You know, Kennedy has a problem with Anas. We all know that. So they are confirmed and they said, I said, I confirm the cell. And then they are all laughing. That's beautiful. Okay. Good evening to President Mahama. Good evening to Alhaji Baumia. Now, let me say something. Now, a serious time now, viewers. I'm sharing the research with you. We've moved from entertainment to now inform and educate. Okay. The elections can be won by NPP. It can be won by NDC. NDC could win. NPP could win. CPP cannot win. But NPP could win, NDC could win. We know that already, okay? So at this stage, some NDC people think they've already won. It's okay, no problem. This election is going to be peculiar in a certain way because in the context of the incumbency, we call something in political science the deficit quotient of the incumbent. So every incumbent suffers a deficit quotient. I'll tell you a story again. I'm sorry, I have too many stories. In the second round of election 2008, we were going to Kumasi. I was going to report, but of course, everyone knew my relationship with Akufo-Addo. So there was campaign in Kumasi. Mills was in Kumasi. Akufo-Addo was in Kumasi. Second round. So we were at the Accra airport, boarding a plane. I believe I was with Gabi Ochiridako and Yao Kwachi and somebody sitting on one side of the table, on the chairs, waiting for the plane. Then the other side was, when we showed up, the other side was Atu Ahoy, Kwame Pepra, Kojo Bonsu, and I believe the guy from Infantiman, Aquinas Kwanzaa. So Aquinas Kwanzaa, Kojo Bonsu is my brother, or my senior brother, I should say, Kwame Pepra, and Ato Ahoy. Myself, Gabi Ochiridako, and Yakwachi, something like that. So we're all standing there, you know, you could hold the tension in the small space. We're waiting for Amtrak Alhaji Bande's plane. Okay. We're all there quiet, nobody is talking. Then Kojo Bonsu broke the ice. Let me tell you what he said. Well, then Kojo said, then everybody laughed. And he captured the mood. We were all going, this is second round 2008. We were going to Kumasi, and this is Ato Ahoy, big Mills people, senior Mills people. And Gabi Ochiridako, proper Akufo-Addo advisor. We were all there. Kojo Bonsu said, hey, yes, and then we all laughed. Then Kwame Pepra told me something. I asked him that why is he confident that NDC will win? I had already started my work. They said, let me tell you something. The incumbency thing. He said he's been a minister of finance. By the time you're a minister for 4 years and for 8 years, you have offended so many people. I said, why? He said, because he's been a minister of finance, he comes to work, and they said, 35 people are waiting for him. He cannot see all the 35 people. He just physically can't. He sits in the office and they say, Rollins is calling him. And he drives away to the castle. He comes back and they said, the vice president is calling you. Then he goes. Then there's a meeting. Then he goes. 35 people are waiting. You can see only 3 of them. He said the rest will go away. They will not vote for you. If you've done that for 8 years, I should imagine how many little votes you are losing. The incumbency is always difficult. And I told him about the political science thing, the deficit quotient of incumbent. And he said, so your man is not going to win. If he didn't win the first round, he will not win the second round. That's what Kwame Pepra told me. I just smiled. I didn't say anything. I said, okay. And then the plane took off and we went to Kumasi. Eventually, Professor Mills actually did win. Kwame Pepra was right. Now, the incumbency issue is always affects incumbents. So if Dr. Bawumia, and it's a big if Dr. Bawumia is elected, I'll show you a Dr. Bawumia video. Please remind me, I have a Dr. Bawumia video, very important one I need to show to viewers this evening after this conversation. If Dr. Bawumia is elected, he will be challenging President Mahama. Now, what's going to happen to the incumbency deficit quotient in the presidential election? Whereas Dr. Bawumia, and this is good for the MPP, whereas Dr. Bawumia is going to carry some, he's going to share it with President Mahama, when in fact the opposition leader doesn't carry any of it at all. This particular opposition leader is going to carry some of it because he's been president before. And we are building this analysis so that when the results start coming in on the 9th of December 8th, we will be putting it together. You know, this is what we talk about. The incumbency deficit quotient is going to affect President Mahama as well. Fortunately for Dr. Bawumia, even though he's running on an incumbent third term, he's going to share that with President Mahama, and we have positioned it this way. We think Dr. Bawumia is going to bear 65% of the incumbency disadvantage, and John Mahama is going to bear 35% of it. That's our own analysis. It could be different. You can vary the figures one way or the other. It depends on how the campaign goes. We will update the figures when the campaign starts. But as of now, we think, based on the fact that John Mahama has been president before, he's going to share the incumbent deficit quotient with Dr. Bawumia. We think 35% President Mahama, 65% Alhaji Bawumia. So that's because ordinarily, Dr. Bawumia should be carrying the load, 100% of incumbency deficit quotient. But because President Mahama has been president before, and the MPP can actually run as an opposition, that's very interesting, isn't it? MPP can build campaign as an opposition. What did President Mahama do? When President Mahama did this, when he came in, he did that. That sounds like opposition. But in this context, you are able to run against President Mahama as if he is the government and you are the opposition. That's what we found in the presidential election, and we'll be updating it. Now let's look at the parliamentary election. Incumbency deficit quotient for the parliamentary election of 2024. It is so unique, never happened. So you have a ruling party and you have an opposition party. How are they going to distribute it? 137, 137. So 137 of NDC MPs are going into the campaign as incumbents, suffering the incumbent deficit quotient. If they were less, far less, like it was in 2008, if they were far less, it's better. But here, they are split it open with the ruling party. So whereas the ruling party would have bore the entire brunt of the incumbent deficit quotient, the opposition party is splitting it with them in parliament and taking some of it from them in the presidential. How is this going to play out when results start coming from Bongo, from Dade Kutupon, from Menchia? And we will fit it in and show you that this is incumbent deficit quotient. This is how it's splitting up. This is how they voted against President Mahama in 2016. And they have repeated voting against President Mahama again. And that is incumbent deficit quotient that has suffered, that President Mahama has suffered in this particular constituency. Dr. Bawumia may have a constituency where MPP have won, but MPP loses on the 9th. And we will show you that this constituency that MPP won, they've lost it tonight because Dr. Bawumia has suffered incumbent deficit quotient. We'll be dealing with that as we go on. But you can discuss it in your office and on social media. Let's see how it is. But these are the facts. MPP, NDC are going to split it 137, 137. That's what it's going to be. And this is unusual for an election. Now, for both parties, they will have to look at the 2008 notes. For the NDC, they were coming from opposition in 2008. So they look at what they did to win. For the MPP, they were looking for a third term in 2008. So they should look at why they lost and correct those things they lost. One of the important things they've corrected is the 17 presidential candidates. That's been corrected quite nicely, because that was one of the reasons why Nana Akufo-Addo could not secure the 25,000 he wanted. The division among the party, President Kufuor told me that in an interview that we still have. So that's one thing MPP have corrected. There are many other things that happened in 2008 for which reason the MPP lost. And there are many things that happened in 2008 for which reason the NDC won. One of them was major propaganda, major vile propaganda that Akufo-Addo was a cocaine, this, that campaign did work. It's propaganda, but it worked. So I'm not surprised that the NDC is picking up the propaganda again. You saw the Sami Jemfi Baulaya stuff. They are picking it up again. Propaganda is going to be more difficult to survive in 2024's election because it will be the second election that is digital. And digital, that's how Sammy Jefi has been caught about the Baulaya thing. Digital is very easy for people to verify. Very, very easy. And digital takes the news quicker, but it also verifies very quickly. Very, very quickly, it can be verified. So propaganda is going to struggle. I'll show you another matter. Let's get to the figures of the election. And MPP must watch this very carefully. Very, very carefully. Okay. You will see from this data that I'm going to share with you that anytime the NDC does well and we have compared 2012, 16, 2008, 12, 16, and 20. We have compared 4 elections, and I'll show you the data in all of these. Anytime the NDC do well, you will see a significant rise in spoils ballots. That's from the data. I'll show you. Don't worry. Don't panic yet. It's clearly in the data. The ballots. This is Nana Akufo-Addo, this Professor Mills, blah, blah, blah. And then before they count, it is alleged that in the process, some people attend the place with yomo in their hair. So they pass the yomo in their hair and they are looking for the ballots of the opponent and touch it. So when the thing is there and if the opponent is Professor Mills and they see that this vote, you see the thing is not open for counting yet, but you can see. And they see this vote for Professor Mills, they touch it. As they are splitting, they are touching as much as they can. And it's happening in 38,000 polling stations. It's called Yomo Mafia. It is executed perfectly. An allegation that in 2008 was a major factor. So they do like this, then they touch it, So there was a lot of slapping and beating in 2008. Stop touching your head. And we said, why was this violence for? You say, why is he touching his head? Clear. And